just scuffed up all the edges of the centerboard with an 80 grit or less sandpaper. A little bit of the wire wheel as well. Kind of shaped these openings here. And I've got wax paper. I took this from another Mariner owner. I don't recall the website at the top of my head. I'll have to put it in the description, but he had used wax paper taped to the edges to try to create a kind of flexible template here, and we can maybe kind of mold it. And then we'll come back after it's cured and actually sand and shape it. But I'm gonna go ahead and put some edges on the centerboard. So after scuffing, clean it up with the Total Boat de-waxer and surface prep, which is much slower evaporating than the acetone. Gives you more time to clean the surfaces, so a little more pricey. All right, let's get started. All right, I'm just peeling off the wax paper here to reveal the new edge. Some of it turned out nice. Others, there's gonna have to be some sanding and filling. I'll have to redo this over here. So let's peel this back. See just how bad this is. Now this is wax paper. Before I sand, I'm gonna clean it with the Total Boat surface prep, de-waxer and surface prep. Get that cleaned up, sand it, and then do another wipe down with the surface prep. Just to make sure, just imagine, you know, there's little micro flakes and whatnot popping off, and I can see some fibers of the wax paper on there, so. Although down here, this is pretty bad. I just have like all these overlapping areas of wax paper that are now embedded underneath, it looks like. I'll have to scrape some of that, I think. Let's see how I'm gonna get that out. All right, so I spent pretty much the entire night last night sanding out both sides of the board, and I used the roller to apply the epoxy rather than the brush, because I've always been using the brush. The roller is just superior. It made a really nice even layer, and then the wax paper has come in clutch for forming these edges. So I've had some areas I've had to grind out and redo. I mean, look at that. That's not bad, man. I'm gonna come here, obviously I'm gonna sand this down and shape it. And hopefully I won't have to lay up any more from that. I think that's probably gonna be pretty nice. Yeah, and I built this one up quite a bit because I just didn't want to go back anymore. So I made a really thick addition to this tip here, where there was a, you know, it was kind of recessed from all the years of erosion and corrosion. So I built that up, and that should give me a nice lip to shape. Now I'm feeling by hand, and it might not, it might need another one. Well, we'll see. It's pretty thick. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is another big gap. That's gonna sand down really, really nice. Like it wasn't even there. Cool. And then I will have to go back and fit the bushing here. All right, so back to the centerboard here. As you saw, I did plenty of sanding in the fairing compound. I did end up wanting to reinforce my leading edge. I have so much time and effort put into this centerboard that I really want to protect it. I almost said, you know, screw it, I'm just gonna make it work. So what do we have here? Some good stuff. So this is woven cloth. This is a 6-ounce woven cloth, 4-inch wide, basically fiberglass tape. This is my leading edge, right? Pivot pin will go through here. So when it's retracted, this will be facing the bottom of the lake or the ocean, wherever you're sailing, right? So tucked in. I actually don't know if it sticks down below, out of the centerboard trunk below the hull, or if it's going to be recessed where it's protected. But anyway, just in case, I went ahead and did all the way up here, just in case when it's tucked in that there's still some exposure. So if I scrape anything, it at least gives a little protective layer that'll hopefully reduce how much damage occurs. Hopefully get a little more life out of the centerboard before it's going to need to be restored again, or at least touched up anyway, right? So I wetted out the edge. You saw that I did forget to clean it, but I've been really good about cleaning the board before I start sanding. So yeah, you know, good enough, right? So I wetted it out a little bit here before I realized I didn't clean. So grabbed some acetone, wiped down the rest of it, and went back to wetting it out. And I did a dry layup. So I wetted out the centerboard, then I took the dry piece of fiberglass tape and laid it up, and then finished wetting it out. This is so thin that I think you can do that. I tried to do it once with the 1708 in a previous video where I was doing the hole to deck joint, and it was a disaster. It was a hotter day, it cured faster. I was trying to do a lot at once. It was a nightmare, but this went pretty well. Around the curve, I did have to snip the fiberglass just so it can make that bend. You can see where it's been kind of laid over there. But one layer is all it's gonna do, because I think if I do one more layer, which I want to, but it's gonna be way too thick. It's already slightly raised, just barely, but I'm gonna let this cure a little bit till it's tacky, and then I'm gonna make some fairing compound and fair this edge, and there'll be a nice piece of fiberglass in there to help reinforce everything. I could easily do another layer of fairing compound over the whole thing, because it is not perfect. There's, you know, a little bit of waviness as you go about, but I think overall it's good enough, right? It's just a centerboard. It's not going to be in a showroom with everybody examining the centerboard, right? It's going to be tucked up under the boat. So as far as just creating a nice smooth surface for good laminar flow of the fluid across it, or the water, this is great, right? Because originally it was this porous moonscape, which would create a lot of drag. So this is going to be good enough. I'm going to do a barrier coat. I believe this is mostly aluminum powder. There's some other stuff mixed in because it has a metallic nickel warning on there. So I'm going to assume there's also nickel involved in this. I believe it's mostly aluminum powder with some other stuff. But that's my barrier coat additive. So I'm going to mix that with the epoxy, and basically that'll be my priming coat. Tip. So these rollers, right, they're kind of pricey to just kind of throw away, and they're difficult to clean, and acetone's expensive to clean with. So what you need to do, get yourself a bucket. Don't mind my mess, because I have projects everywhere, not just the boat. I'm gonna clean it, I swear, this next weekend. Whew, it's strong. Okay, I forgot my mask, but I've got a bucket with just maybe an inch of acetone down there. Look, there's already a roller there. I put it in, I'm gonna kind of roll it a little bit, switch it around, and I'm gonna leave it there, and that thing is ready for next use, and that's it. I'm gonna cap it. Try not to breathe this in, because that's strong. I just finished putting 2 coats of 407 on here, and I think I have it to the point where I'm going to be able to blend this out nicely. So it filled in the weave quite well. And I, towards that leading edge, there is already a little bit of a taper. So it should really help me hide the layer of woven cloth. So yeah, I'm happy with this. I think this is gonna turn out. It won't be perfect, but I think it's gonna be pretty decent. So yeah, I'm really happy to have an extra sacrificial layer of fiberglass in here. Obviously being the leading edge, it's gonna be first contact with objects underwater, whether it be the ground, rocks, oyster beds, debris, etc. So this is a cast iron centerboard, and it will be in quite a bit of salt water, or mostly salt water. So I definitely want to protect it. So, all right, Project Seahorse, back to work.